Hello everyone, I'm Broughy1322 and welcome to another Broughy Explains video where I'm going to be talking about how to make money on YouTube. So these Broughy Explains videos, this series in general, has been about sort of the inner workings of YouTube. I've talked about how people make money off YouTube, how ads work, how, why videos are now 10 minutes long. You're seeing that a lot more often. That was the previous episode. And this is a video that I've always wanted to make where I sort of go in depth about what I personally do in this respect and how it's possible to make a living from doing YouTube. So for those who are unaware, I do make my entire living off YouTube now. I am basically a YouTuber. This is my full-time job, I guess you could say, and I support myself and my girlfriend and having a house and things like that. That is all supported by YouTube. So I am full-time with that now, and I'm going to sort of walk you through a little bit of the process of how that came to be, and also what I do and what people or YouTubers in general do to make a living off YouTube. Now, as always with these things, it is a bit of a topic that's a bit scary to talk about, I would say. It's quite personal and things like that, but I'm going to try and be as honest as possible because that's the way that I've always made my videos. That's the way that I've always made this series as well. And I think it's worth you guys knowing how it all works and what I personally do to be able to live and support myself. So I think the first thing to get out of the way is, as I've covered previously in the very first episode of this series when I talked about how much money you make from YouTube, if I was to only rely on YouTube ad revenue, I wouldn't be able to pay the rent. That's not including bills or food or just any general living expenses. If all I did was rely on the income that I get from YouTube ad revenue at a channel with 100,000 subscribers, I wouldn't be able to pay rent. It's not enough to support myself on its own. It's a decent amount, but it's certainly nowhere near to support myself on its own. And the sort of figure that I quoted before in the previous video is still, I would say, reasonably accurate. You kind of need sort of 2 million views every single month to even make minimum wage from just YouTube. General ballpark there in terms of ad revenue, that is. So obviously those bigger channels that have millions and millions of subscribers, they probably don't do as much as what I'm going to talk about in this video to have to support themselves. They're doing absolutely fine in terms of the views that they get. They don't need to do any extra stuff around that, I would say. They get enough from ad revenue, but certainly channels of my size and around this area, it's all about diversification and not making YouTube the only thing that you do. Something that I sometimes get asked about as well is tax and paying tax on earnings and things like that. YouTubers are technically self-employed, so if you do earn any money on YouTube, you do have to declare that on a tax form and obviously pay tax on any of your earnings. So just wanted to clear that up, that you don't just get all of the money that you make from YouTube or anything else. You do still have to pay tax on it like everybody else. But yeah, it's all about diversification. So I don't only just do YouTube videos, I also do Twitch streams. There's merchandise, donations, sponsors every now and then, things like that all come together to build up my income and make a total sort of monthly salary, I guess you could say. It's not really a salary, but in that respect, it's a lot of different aspects that come together to make the whole thing. So I'll explain a little bit about how it all came to be, because if anybody starts a YouTube channel with the sole purpose of making money from it or having it be a career, it's not going to work, I can guarantee it. The whole idea with YouTube is that you have to do it because you enjoy it. The same goes for whatever medium you're doing in this respect. If you're streaming on Twitch or creating artwork or whatever it is, you need to be doing it because you enjoy it and do it as a side hobby to start off with. And that's what I did. I had a part-time job that I used to work maybe 4 or 5 days a week, and I used to do YouTube videos on the side of that. And then gradually, as I started to get a little bit bigger on YouTube, which is, everyone always wants to do that, I would say, you start to earn a little bit more money from it. And the smartest way to do it, I think, and the way that I did it, is that the more money that I started to make from YouTube, the less time that I spent at work. Now, that's obviously not something that everybody can do if you're in a full-time job, but say I used to do 4 or 5 days a week. When I got maybe 10, 15, 20,000 subscribers, I would take 1 extra day to myself, and then maybe when I get to 30, 40, 50,000 subscribers, I would maybe work 3 days a week. And gradually, the more income that you get from YouTube, you're able to reduce the amount of income that you get from working, and then the time spent that you're not working goes directly back into making YouTube videos and doing all that kind of stuff. So it's a cyclical approach like that. You can't just say start a YouTube channel with 1 subscriber, quit work, and then expect to be able to support yourself. That's not how it works. And like I've said, even at 100,000 subscribers right now, if I was just relying on YouTube, I wouldn't even be able to support myself on its own. So, these are the things that you've got to keep in mind if you are wanting to have a career on YouTube or whatever. It takes time. And for me, I made videos for a full year just as a hobby, with not even getting 100 subscribers from that. 1,000 was way off. That would have been crazy. I made videos for about a year before I got even 100 subscribers. And it was I just did it because I enjoyed it. And that's what I like to do. And then I would work during the week and make videos on an evening or a weekend. And that was just what I did. And then YouTube would start to increase. I would start to get a little bit of money and income from that. I would start to get more viewers. And I was able to take a little bit less time for work and a little bit more time spent making videos, which in turn got me more and more viewers and things like that. And it's only now where it's become my full-time thing that I'm starting to feel like I don't have enough time to do everything, because I've gone through this approach of being able to take a little bit more time every now and then when I need it to put into the YouTube aspect. And at this point, I've got no more time left to take. There's nothing else I'm doing. YouTube is all I'm doing. So it's difficult to manage that, but that's a topic for another time. So when it comes to making money from all this and being able to support myself, there's pretty much 5 main areas for me personally. This can vary for different people, and I would always recommend just focusing on one area when you're very starting out. But you've got YouTube, Twitch, donations, merchandise, and sponsorships. Those are pretty much the 5 areas. Now, the thing with having different sources of income like that is that it's always going to vary. One month on YouTube, you might get a lot less views and people just aren't interested in what you're doing, or just in general, you have advertising revenue changes. So say in December, you get quite a bit of advertising revenue because all of the advertisers want to advertise around that kind of time because it's Christmas. And then in January and February, the amount of money that you get from ads tails off. So it always varies up and down, that kind of thing. And the idea is that all the aspects of income are all going to vary. Some months are going to be higher, some months are going to be lower. There might be one month where everything is low, there might be one month where everything is high. But in general, there's pretty much a nice average going on. So there might be one month where YouTube is low, but one month where Twitch income is high. And it balances out over the course of sort of a few months and over the course of a year. You do have to be a little bit smart with it. You can't just spend money like you get a salary, because oftentimes you never know what you're going to get in any given month, because a lot of it is based on people and you guys and what you watch of my stuff, whether people like to donate and things like that. Or buy merchandise. It varies all the time. So you do have to play it a little bit smart in that respect and not go beyond. If you have a good month, don't just blow all that money on various different things, because the next month you might find that you're not having enough to support yourself. So yeah, we've got YouTube, where you get advertising revenue, which I've talked about in previous videos. I also get a little bit of advertising revenue from my Twitch streams, but the majority of the income that I get from Twitch comes from subscribers. That's where people can pay $5 every month to be a subscriber on Twitch. They get extra chat features like emotes and their name read out and things like that when they subscribe. Donations have actually become quite a major part of my income, I would say. It never used to be like this, but there have been months where donations have outstripped YouTube and Twitch income combined. So it's pretty crazy how much I think it's underestimated how much of an impact even just giving a dollar can be when you do that for your favorite creators, because it's quite a significant impact, especially for creators around my size or even lower. So when it comes to donations, there's two forms of it. There's one of it comes into Twitch really because it's live stream donations where people can donate things if they want to on a stream. That it obviously pops up on the screen. You've probably seen it in my videos, and they get it read out and they get their message read out and things like that. Some people want to do it to get their message read out. Some people do it just because they want to support me or the streamer that they're doing, and that's very, very kind of people to do that. It's absolutely crazy, and I never really expect that from people. That I always, donations are always the thing that probably can vary the most in terms of income, and it's always the thing that I never totally rely on. But it's always very, very nice, and it just makes me a little bit more comfortable from month to month if that goes well. But the other part of donations is Patreon as well. You've probably seen the link and me talk about it before. Patreon is more of a stable form of donations, I would say. It's where people can donate a certain amount every month, and it's pretty static. It doesn't really change as much as sort of Twitch donations, which can vary all the time. And then after that, there's also merchandise. So if anybody buys, for example, my merch store, it's always linked in my my videos, and I've talked about it when it was initially opened. If anyone buys t-shirts or phone cases or anything like that with the designs that are on that merch store, I get a small amount of that. A small amount of the sale price comes back to me as sort of like commission, I guess you could say. And also the artists who created the designs that you see on there also get a little bit as well. So the final thing is sponsorships. Now, I'm not all that sponsorship heavy on this channel really. I just tend to focus on the content. I don't really think about it too much, but I think there's three main levels of sponsorship. Sort of the base level is where a company might send you something for a review. You get to keep the item, but no money changes hands, and that's pretty much the end of it. The second level to that, I would say, is commission-based sponsorship, where companies may send you something, and if anybody buys that item because of your video or using your link, you get a little bit of commission back from that. That's how it works with my unboxing videos, Loot Crate, things like that. I get sent all those boxes for review purposes, and if anybody buys those boxes using the links in the description, I do earn a little bit of money back from that. But they're not actually paying me to do the videos. I don't have to do the videos if I don't want to. A benefit of the Loot Crate is that I can sometimes sell the items that are in there, and that brings a little bit of extra money in as well. And with this sort of system and the kind of level that I am, every little helps. I'm certainly not earning big money, I would say, and every little helps when it comes to, like I say, being able to sell Loot Crate items on eBay or whatever for a couple of pounds here and there. Every little aspect that you've got to pay attention to, and in general, it all adds up to be able to make me able to pay the bills and pay rent and stuff like that. But it's a balancing act to make sure that you're focusing on everything. And then I would say the final aspect of sponsorship, sort of the highest level, is where you're being paid money to sponsor, to show something. So a company approaches you, says, here, we'll give you this amount of money to tweet this out or make a video about this. And I've never done that, so I don't really know the ins and outs of that. I'm probably not large enough to even get that, but whether that I'll ever do that, I'm not sure. But yeah, I would say those are kind of the general areas, and that's just personal to me, obviously, but I think it's a pretty standard thing across YouTubers in general, and it's something that those YouTubers who are able to support themselves around my size or even bigger, they have to do that sort of thing. You have to be able to diversify, because just relying on YouTube isn't going to be enough. And I know that it's sometimes a bit of a touchy subject to talk about money in YouTube and things like that. It always worries me when I make videos like this, but like I said before, I want to be honest and open with you guys, because I think it better informs you about what I do, but also about YouTubers in general. And it's kind of why I can't blame bigger YouTubers when they put intrusive ads on their videos, because they're just playing the game. And if you think that YouTube is all you have, you don't have the Twitch or the merchandise or the donations. I'm in a very lucky position in that I've been able to sort of diversify a little bit, and I've got such great people who want to support me. if your only thing is YouTube, you do have to, I suppose, do what you can to make sure you can survive, because there comes a point where you realize that this is my life. I have to pay rent, I have to pay electricity, gas, water, internet, all the various different bills that you have to pay, and you have to pay for food. You have to be able to live, and yeah, it can be somewhat nerve-wracking sometimes if that is your, this whole thing is your only thing, because a lot of it relies on you guys who watch my videos. Even if you don't donate ever, or you're just watching the videos and sharing them around and bringing other people to the channel and things like that, it's entirely based on you guys, and it's why I'm forever grateful that you guys are here and watching. I try my best to make the content as worthy of what goes on as possible, but ultimately it's all because of you guys. And if you guys all stop watching my videos because they turn rubbish or you just lose interest in it, then that's it. I don't have any income from that, and it's always very humbling when donations in particular are such a large part of my income, such that they even give me more income than Twitch or YouTube. And then having said that, even the Twitch stuff, the majority of the income that I get from Twitch is from subscribers, which is people paying out of their own pockets for something as well. So it all comes from you guys, and I'm forever grateful for that, because I love doing this. I love making videos. It's hard work, and you can't spend as much time doing it as I do if you don't enjoy it. And I love doing it, and I'm so grateful that I'm able to do it as a full-time job and be able to support myself with what I do. It's so humbling. But as always, it's never something that I expect. Ultimately, I just make videos and hope people enjoy them, and anything that goes beyond that and comes from that is just a nice bonus. And the nice bonus so far has been that I've been able to support myself with it, but I never take it for granted, and I am aware that it could just all go away one day. So yeah, that's kind of, I just wanted to make a video. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, because people are generally always interested in how people make livings on YouTube and how it all works. Like I said, this series, I've already done other videos about how ads work and how much money you make from YouTube and stuff like that. So feel free to check those out. Obviously, the playlist link is in the description. But I just wanted to make this one to give people a better understanding of how it works and how I've been able to build up a channel and support myself from a channel that has 100,000 subscribers, which you wouldn't be able to support yourself on if you just relied on YouTube. So yeah, I just wanted to do that. Whether I never know how these are going to be received, whether they're going to be received positively or negatively. It's always a tricky thing to talk about money, obviously, but it's something that I want to get out there, and this series has always been about talking about the things that other YouTubers might not necessarily want to talk about, and giving you guys a bit more of an insight into how it all works. I can't say this is the same for everybody, obviously. Every content creator is differently, and some people may rely more on Patreon, for example, if they're not YouTubers and they just create artworks or music or things like that. Other people might just go based on merchandise sales of music and whatever. It's everybody's different, but all I can do is give my experiences, if you like, so that you guys can get a better understanding of what actually goes into being able to support yourself, at least for a channel of my size, about 100,000 subscribers, which I'm very, very thankful for. And the 100,000 subscriber special stuff will be coming soon, I promise. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and a bit of a insight into how it all works. Hopefully it's received well. I never know, like I say, but yeah, thank you guys so much. It's always uncomfortable to talk about these things, but I really, really do appreciate your support. And like I said, I'm so grateful that you guys even just watch my stuff, tweet it out, share it, even when it's not monetary related, turning off ad block on my videos, or even just watching them with ad block and just enjoying the content without leaving a like, a comment or anything. I'm just happy that you're here. and getting something from what I'm doing, because that's ultimately my main goal with this. So thank you so much for watching. I really, really, really do appreciate it so much. Thank you so much for all the support, as always, and I'll see you next time.